All right, so we had two one-on-one matches before we go to the men's Royal Rumble, which was the main event there. So we had the big match of Gunther going up against AJ Styles, and the big stipulation is that if AJ Styles loses the match, he'll be forced to end his career. It's a career-ending match there and everything. So just real quick, the notes I got here was that sometime during the match, AJ started drawing blood from one of his arms. I think it was accidental. I don't think it was a blade job. It was just, never.
It was maybe like an accidental take.
Yeah. There was one thing that we saw where Gunther flipped AJ backwards, and that was like, because Gunther's a fucking tall dude, so just launched him in the air and just let AJ drop, and it was like, we were like, damn, that's a lot of air that AJ caught there.
Nothing but net.
Yep. AJ hits Gunther with a Pele kick, and both of them are down for a bit there. AJ grabs him in a couple of holds, and Gunther had to get the ropes to break it and everything. Gunther does a dinosaur kick, so, no dinosaurs were hurt during the process of that. AJ holds on. He does a hold in the middle of the ring, which makes it tough because there aren't any ropes or anything for Gunther to grab onto and all that stuff. But he reverses him into a sleeper. And basically, they kind of take turns both trying to do sleepers on each other and everything. And in the end of that little exchange, AJ throws Gunther out of the ring for a bit there. AJ hits it with a 450 splash and does the Styles Clash. And you think like, okay, but Gunther still kicks out. And in the end, after several attempts, because I guess Gunther's go-to move is the sleeper. So after several sleepers, he actually gets him into like a sleeper that AJ couldn't get out of. And after a lot of, the drama, the thing, the attempt, doing whatever you possibly can to get out of it and all that stuff, unfortunately, AJ's down and out. They do the, arm thing. But AJ, well, in this case, he didn't do it. In this case, he's out. AJ career is over. There's kids in the crowd all like,
oh yeah, there was a little kid. He looked like
it was dead silence.
Like the dude that Russell with the Undertaker
with the glasses.
The dude with the yeah.
And then one thing that Jack noted, and of course all the wrestling fans know, is that AJ did not what was it? He didn't take off his gloves when he left.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I didn't notice him messing with his gloves. He never took them off.
So he was gonna take off his gloves. It looked like he was about to take off his gloves and leave them in the ring. And as he's taking them off, he puts them down for a second, then he picks them back up and puts them right back on. Yeah. And then he does a hand pose. So it's implied that yes, he's retired from WWE, but even after he retired, I guess he went on. I saw one clip. I guess he was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. What's Your Story or whatever the hell it's called? And they asked him about the glove thing, and he goes, "So I am retired, but I'm not really sure if it's forever, but I'm not really sure. I just don't know." So the theory that Will thinks, and I do kind of hopefully agree with him, is that yes, he's done with WWE, but he could still show up in New Japan. He could still show up in TNA. And in fact, I would even double down to that because about 2 years ago, they wanted to put AJ Styles in the AEW Hall of Fame. But he said, respectfully, as much as I would love to go in, I'm still an active wrestler and I'm still working with WWE. So as long as I'm wrestling, I don't want to go in the Hall of Fame. So, maybe come Bound for Glory, we might see him in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Maybe he'll show up in a TNA event. I don't know.
Maybe I say when I was looking for a cool shirt to wear, because I really bought WWE merch in forever and everything. Honestly, I haven't really bought AEW merch in a while either. But I was trying to find a perfect shirt for today's episode, and I did find this the Phenomenal One shirt that I got a couple of years back when Loot Crate was still doing the WWE Slam Crate. So I was like, oh yeah, it's a perfect shirt because retirement match and all that. So that's perfect.
They have Bullet Club shirts too,
Well, yeah, but this is more personalized, you know what I mean? Especially since WWE couldn't do it. They just call it like the club or something. They couldn't use full on Bullet Club whenever they had, what was his name, like Anderson and Gallows or something like
Yeah,
that.
Anderson Gallows is just the OC or something like that.
Gallows was the OC, and then Finn Balor was Balor Club, and it just had a row of bullets on the
That's
front of it.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But I was happy with the match. I felt, I mean, I already knew kind of going in that AJ was pretty much done because he even said like, "Oh, I'm going to retire in 26." And I'm also like, I know from what I've seen of AJ following his career, he's never been one of those guys who, you know, Cena is the kind of guy who's like, I don't want to say goodbye. I want to do my all last high five roundups, full tour, all that stuff. I understand that. But AJ has always been an old school guy. He's always been the guy who's like, I want to go out on top and just kind of like leave, because that's an old school mindset to have. Shawn Michaels did it. You know, a lot of wrestlers have done it in the past. Terry Funk did it like 3 times.
Ric Flair should have done it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah, a lot of wrestlers, the old school mindset is basically that you're supposed to, you know, either go out in the sunset or go out on your back. Basically, you go out amazing. That's the old school mindset of go out on your back, boots in the ring, say goodbye. Like, that's it. But it's now like with the Cena retirement, it's now seen as like everyone's going to expect a farewell tour and da-da-da-da. But what I do love about it is AJ did the thing that was what they should have done with Kurt Angle's retirement, which was Baron Corbin beating Kurt Angle was not a bad choice, but they should have used that. But they didn't. But I know with AJ being beaten by Gunther, because Gunther beating John Cena and Goldberg has already elevated. Now him beating AJ has literally, his nickname now is the career killer. He is creating this unbeatable villain arc, which I love, because I'm like, truthfully, they need a top villain. And right now, and not a person like a Brock Lesnar who they just feed people to. I'm talking about like a guy who's like a domineering threat, like an old school villain who, like, when you hear his music, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, like, early days WWF, whenever, like, even Stone Cold, when Stone Cold and The Rock or whoever was fighting, and you hear the gong, we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
like,
he's the new Undertaker.
Yeah, and it was the Undertaker when he was a villain in the Ministry and all that shit.
Oh,
Gunther needs to be that dominant force, that Dan Severn, that guy who's like, oh shit, shit's getting real. Like, and everyone that wants to criticize, oh, his finisher's a sleeper hold. Oh, I'm sorry, the move that you can literally use on anyone and you can literally kill someone doing, that move. And it's not like, say, Dolph Ziggler doing a sleeper hold. It's a 6'10" big ass Austrian buff man doing it to you. That's gonna mess you up. I don't give a shit who you are. And he doesn't just hold you in a sleeper hold. You've seen him. He elbows your neck. He weighs your neck down and just keeps putting it on and on and on. I'm like, I don't care who you are. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna knock you the F out.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping that this will eventually feud and build up to the dream match. I've been waiting for it to happen again. Gunther versus Dragunov. I want it. We all want it.
Yes.
Because Dragunov is the killer of the killer of beasts. So I would love for him. Like, hell, we saw in the men's rumble what Dragunov did. That was cool. But anyway. But I'm happy AJ's getting to retire on his own terms. I think more than likely the next candidate up on the chopping block is probably, hopefully, gonna be Rey Mysterio, because for fuck's sake, I'm like, Rey should have been retired a long time ago. I'm like, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You've won every title. Like, what more do you need, sir? Like, seriously. why are you here? I'm like, it's kind of like he's like the guy who's like retired like 10 years ago and he still goes into work. And everyone's like, why are you here still? And they're like, what if I leave and this place falls apart? Dude, your legs are falling apart. You fucking leave, man. Just get out of here.
I have to agree with that one. And see with Gunther with that whole little thing, said he like the career killer thing. I would say, the new Randy Orton.
Yeah. And eventually I think he's gonna eliminate Randy too. I'm like, yay. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
about it, it's like
agree
people
with
were
Gunther,
talking.
but Gunther did an interview like leading up to the Rumble, which I'm surprised they didn't use, but he said, I'm tired of these has-beens clinging on too long. I want to be the one to put them in the ground because they refuse to leave. And I'm like, yeah, it's valid.
yeah, like they're literally using him as WWE's new meat grinder. I mean, when you had Undertaker, when you needed Shawn Michaels taken out, when you needed Ric Flair taken out, when you needed those older guys taken out, who did they put him against? Undertaker. Undertaker is gone now. He's that new meat grinder. He's that new guy that the older dudes are going to come to when it's game over time, when they're about to go.
If he really wanted to make it even funnier, he should call his top rope splash. Gunther should call that the Future Endeavors.
The Future Endeavors. That would be awesome.
It's like,
And that was the thing I was saying. It's like talking about the people like, oh my God, is tonight going to be the night? Blah 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 blah. And I'm kind of like, okay, so AJ Styles mentioned he's retiring soon. He's going up against the same guy that retired Goldberg and Cena. There's a stipulation that if he loses, his career is over. Like, yeah, this is pretty much it. I mean, I did have a doubt though when he did land the 450 splash and the Styles splash. I was kind of like, well, I guess it's gonna be like I'm gonna retire, but not today, bitch, or whatever. But like, no, Gunther kicked out, and we saw what happened.
Yeah, I'm expecting the same here.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, my thoughts about this. This is the first time I've seen Gunther, and holy shit, that dude is huge. He's like what? He's like what, 8 feet tall or some shit like that?
I think he's like 6'10", something like that.
6'10", but he looks really tall anyways. And he's really big and strong. And yeah, when he did that sleeper hold to AJ Styles, it's like, yep, it was the time to go. It was the time to retire, I guess. But it was
When I already interviewed Gunther about using the sleeper, his response was, if he dies, he dies.
Nah,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I will crush you.
But yeah, I was impressed on Gunther. I think he's a good wrestler, and yeah, I wouldn't mind watching more matches with Gunther.
I saw this meme that was that scene from the Suicide Squad where it was like like death shot and then Peacemaker, and he's all like, are you taking but it had Rusev and Gunther, it's like, are you taking the piss? He literally does exactly what I do, and then Gunther's like, but better. Like, yeah.
All right. So
And
next match
here's
we
a
have
scary
here-
thought. One last scary thought. As big and as burly as Gunther is, he's 10 years younger than AJ Styles.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunther was born in 1987. AJ Styles was born in 1977.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, AJ takes really good care of himself.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the next one we have here is Drew McIntyre, who's the current undisputed WWE champ, and the challenger is Sami Zayn and everything. I do want to ask this quick before we go into it: is the undisputed title, is that like the new? I mean, did they retire the Universal title and stuff and call it this now, or what's this?
So when Roman Reigns was the champion for 1,000 something days, he had won the world title or the WWE title and then the Universal title when they were split on Raw and SmackDown. He had won them both. He was carrying them. He was unbeatable, and they had created on his 1,000th day a unified belts, which was the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, which is the one they have. And then they had to create the World Heavyweight title and then they had a tournament basically because Roman refused to split the belt. So that belt is the Universal and WWE belt. So it's the top prize technically. The way Drew McIntyre won it was through bullshit because Cody Rhodes had gotten the title off of John Cena. And he'd beaten John Cena for the title. Cody Rhodes was in a couple feuds, but he was in a feud with Drew McIntyre. Months prior, about almost a year ago, Jacob Fatu was supposed to fight Drew for a shot against Cody for the title, but Jacob Fatu got attacked backstage and beaten so badly his teeth were knocked out of his skull. Like his actual teeth were coming out of his mouth. It was kind of weird and gnarly. And Drew, no one knows who did it. Drew denied it. Drew was basically harassing Cody, went into his tour bus, he got suspended, all this shit. And it led to a 3 stages of hell match between Drew and Cody. First match was a normal match. Second match was a street fight. Third match was a steel cage match. The third match, it was tied. And then near the end of the third match, Cody had Drew basically on the ropes. And a masked person had come into the ring and attacked Drew, and it was Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then Jacob and him started feuding, and Drew sneaked off, fell out of the ring, and won the Undisputed Championship that way. That's how Drew became the champion.
Yeah. Now, for this one, I didn't really put many notes because, I don't know, I guess I wasn't as invested in the match as I should have been. I was just basically waiting for the men's rumble at that point. So I was saying, well, either Jack or William can fill in some of the blanks or some of the big spots and things like that.
I will say this, because, we used to watch it, especially with Sami Zayn, the fact that he's elevated so much now compared to how he was when I was still semi-regularly keeping up with WWE and stuff. He just seemed like, I guess, like kind of just there mostly, when I used to watch it. But then it's nice to see how much he's, grown and elevated over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So before this match started, they had a fatal 4-way, and for this match against Drew, and it was Randy Orton, Sami Zayn. Oh God, who was the third person? It was Trick Williams, and then there was one other person. I can't remember who the other person was, but a lot of people thought it was going to be Trick Williams or Randy Orton that would go into the ring and fight Drew, but no, it ended up being Sami, which everyone's like, oh, okay. But then they kept talking about over and over. It's like, well, Sammy's never beaten Drew. He's like, okay. He's like, we fought him 12 times and I've never beaten him. I'm like, okay, it's not really a brag, but okay. And then he's like, but I've never lost in Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, also not really a brag, but okay. It's like going in like,
took care of that one.
Wait, that's kind of like that Nasa with Eddie Garcia was saying something. I was like, oh my gosh, you just insulted yourself. Reread your script.
It's like, what? I was like, that's not okay. But honestly, I was kind of like the same way with Mark. I was like, even a person who I'm like, I should care about this match, but I truly did not. Like, I kind of would rather have seen Randy versus him, honestly. Like, I think Randy versus Drew would have been more interesting. But that's me. I mean, Sammy's fine. I think at this point, I'm like, you either got to turn heel or something, because whatever the hell you're doing is not working. Like, whatever you're doing is not working in the sense of you're not going to be a world champion the way you are. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just not in the cards. I don't see it. I do like what Drew's doing as a champion because he's giving more aura. When Cody was the champion this last run, he's been boring as shit. And Drew at least has the aura to piss people off and make them kind of invested. So I'm like, okay, at least there's that. I don't know if he's going to stay champion until WrestleMania. And if that's going to be the case, because it still seems like they're going to feud. It still seems like Cody's going to find a way to sneak him and fight him. I could be wrong, but it feels like that's what they're going to do, but I could be wrong. But as far as this match, I was like, it was fine. I think it's just because I've seen this match so many times, I'm just like, eh.
Not only that, but didn't it kind of go down rather quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was also just kind of like this was the only, sadly, this felt like the only match that the crowd was somewhat engaged with. And I think that was part of it. I was like, okay. I'm like, because they were like, oh, 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 oh. I'm like, okay, we get it. You like Sami, we get it. But I don't know. I mean, I thought it was okay. What'd you think? What'd you think, Will?
I don't know. I'm kind of agreeing with you. It's like, I hate to say it, even with him being in Saudi Arabia and as big as he is there, I kind of feel like almost like Sammy's like phoning it in. Like there's no real personality or grit to him, especially with, everything that's going on with Drew McIntyre and everything. If anything, if I were to bring Sami Zayn, a certain version of Sami Zayn back to fight against Drew McIntyre, it would have been the old Sami Zayn that after he had just gotten betrayed by Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
When he was just like, anytime like he was doing an interview, he was almost kicking something over because of how pissed he was with it. That fire, that tenacity, that would be the Sami Zayn that I would bring in. We're still dealing with, post-tribal chiefs. Hey, look at me, I'm a good guy. No. Bring back the angry, pissed off punk rocker Sami Zayn. Get him in there, and then get him fighting Drew. That would have been a better match.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah. What do you think, Johnny?
Personally, I didn't really care too much about the match. I guess I wasn't not that invested into it. And, I also kind of forgot most of it because I was kind of falling asleep a little bit. So, yeah, pretty much I didn't really remember too much about the match.
Yay. And as for myself, pretty much the same thing. I was just like, oh, cool. It's nice seeing that Sami Zayn is a little higher up now. I don't know what they're doing with him. But like I said, just by the crowd's reaction, you can tell that they're really into Sami.